Tales of the Shire doesn't even release for a few more weeks, and it has already faced major backlash from its PS2 level graphics to the DEI narratives that this product is pushing. It just does not resemble Tolkien's Hobbits or world at all whatsoever. And just a couple of weeks ago, we actually saw the lead producer mocking gamers and saying DEI initiatives in the industry are not real. And now we're finding out that they're working with Sweet Baby Inc., a company who only exists to push DEI narratives into games. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I completely understand that there is so much love out there for Middle-earth and Tolkien's creations. I mean, I have shelves of his work. I absolutely love it so much, and that's why I wanted Tales of the Shire to come out and for it to be a really good, high-quality experience, and I was even willing to look past some of the rough around the edges graphics if the experience itself was going to be really phenomenal. And a lot of people were saying the same exact thing, but now that we know that the lead producer absolutely hates gamers' guts, and that this is also a Sweet Baby Inc. detected game, it's looking really freaking bad for them. So Master of the TDS had posted this over on X saying, Sweet Baby Inc. detected. The newest Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game, was consulted on by Sweet Baby Inc. It's always so funny to me that the people who claim there isn't an issue within the industry, in this case DEI narratives being pushed into our content, are actually the ones who know the most that that is the case, that that is actually a thing. We do know that there are companies that exist solely to push this type of content into games, and well, they were caught in 4K. So this was confirmed via Cameron Wild's LinkedIn. Not sure why you need Sweet Baby Inc. to do sensitivity reading for a Lord of the Rings game, but we now know that that is the case. So Cameron Wild was associated with Sweet Baby Inc.'s South of Midnight, Alan Wake 2, and now Tales of the Shire. They did writing, narrative, story structure, and sensitivity reading on South of Midnight. They did sensitivity reading on Alan Wake 2, and now we know writing and sensitivity reading on Tales of the Shire, which of course is massively disappointing to see because there are so many people out there who do not want to support Sweet Baby Inc. in any way, shape, or form, and might have been looking forward to this thinking it couldn't be that bad, and now we know that it most likely is going to be. Now, if you don't remember who Cameron Wild is, this is an individual who has recounted an interaction with the developer that resisted suggestions about character identity, and rather than collaborating towards a creative solution, Wild describes pressing the studio repeatedly until it gave in, being met with a less than optimal response to that and having them say it again and then again and then again. The SBI narrative designer also reflected on leveraging personal emotion to make the argument more compelling, admitting that vulnerability was deployed not for mutual understanding but as a pressure tactic. The intent, according to Wild, was not to inform or advise but to instill enough emotional weight to forced compliance. And of course, I don't think we expected anything better from anybody who is affiliated with Sweet Baby Inc., but just absolutely like disgusting mentality, disgusting tactics. And it doesn't get any better from there when you see that the lead producer on this game had, of course, basically come out and called us all conspiracy theorists for criticizing DEI initiatives that are going on within the industry. I had put up a video on this 4 months ago. I've talked about it since then, but Calliope Ryder here had said, I promise I've never received a message from a higher up that said needs more diversity so we can get government funding. We do know that that does actually happen. Look at games like Dustborn. They received government grants to make that game. Or also Cat Park was another title that got government funding. It's just that games are made by and for a wide range of people with varying experiences. There's no scary cabal forcing developers to add women and POC to games. There are groups that do require their developers to push certain percentages, I guess we'll say, of people of color or women or diverse characters in general. I mean, we see the same exact thing happening in Hollywood. Behind the camera, there has to be a certain percentage of writers or cameramen or individuals who have to meet certain quotas. These are definitely realistic. We are not conspiracy theorists for sitting here and calling them out, but Calliope Writer, of course, wants to make you think that you are insane. She also talks about reading conspiracies online about how the industry works. She said, like, reading these conspiracies online about how the industry works is wild. There's no evil corp working on erasing white men from games. They're busy figuring out how to make you and every other gamer spend more money on microtransactions. You can sit here and say we're conspiracy theorists when really we are not. We are sitting here talking about the way that the industry works, and we have piece of proof after piece of proof after piece of proof, and all you're doing is sitting here saying that's not true, and you're expecting us to believe you. You are an individual who is now working with a company who only exists to push these certain narratives into video games to make sure that you are fulfilling your diversity quota. They don't exist because they are people who are genuinely passionate about video games or the industry or making high quality experiences. They are only a part of this industry to make a quick buck. You look like an absolute clown now. And of course, Master of the TDS has been getting a lot of traction on this post, and there's a lot of people saying, no, there's absolutely no way that this is the case. It's a picture of one of the Black Hobbits. Like, you just can't make this shit up. Thanks for letting me know, non-binary. I recommend hitting ignore if you come across a SBI/DEI game. Steam won't show you anything on it, and the developers can see how many people are ignoring their game. That's gotta feel bad, knowing that your game is being ignored by thousands and thousands of otherwise potential customers. I thought the game got delayed because people bullied them so hard for how crappy the game looked. I think that they probably delayed the game because they were hoping that people would end up forgetting about all of the backlash and all of the controversy surrounding this title, but of course we're talking about the internet. Things cannot be erased, and gamers never forget when you insult them. I think that we kind of knew that already. The art style alone turned me off from the game. I'd rather suffer through Gollum. No wonder I didn't like the game's trailer or what I saw. I mean, the design of the game itself was pretty horrible to begin with, but it gave me the bad vibes like the Rings of Power did, and yeah, we saw how that series turned out. What a heartbreaking situation. You had billions of dollars, and that's the slop you came up with. And we don't know the budget for this Tales of the Shire game. I would assume it's like probably $20 million, maybe 30 max, but I guess you don't really know until they come out and announce it, or they talk about how it either failed to meet financial expectations or it exceeded those expectations. So I definitely will be keeping my eye on this, but now we do know that it is a sweet baby ink game, and I don't think any of us are particularly shocked, though it is just disappointing to see another piece of Tolkien's work being taken and absolutely trashed by activists. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.